What's up, Go Mean Green, North Texas football fans? Come and join us as we try to figure out what the heck's going on. I'm joined by fellow East Texan Jared. Whew.
What a game! What a game!
What a game! What is your instant reaction? I mean, did you think we would be here?
I'm flabbergasted. I'm speechless, to be honest, man. I really thought we were going to win at least by maybe 10 to 14 points, but good Lord, it was just like the defense, they couldn't get stops, or when they would get a stop, the offense would get the ball back, and then they'd go 3 and out or have a turnover. Quarterbacks or Stone, made a couple of good throws the first half, and then kind of receiver fell down on a play or two, and then there was another one that he was on the run and he threw that interception. And Chandler came in. He did a few positive things, but it's frustrating.
Yeah, I mean, I felt like we were past the quarterback controversy, just the way that Stone looked the first game. I thought he didn't play great, but at the same time, I didn't think that it was horrible. And then Rodgers came in, and it was like, okay, now we see why Stone was named the starter. And then after tonight, I mean, I think that it's all back to square one. I mean, I think that Chandler looked good tonight. But yeah, I mean, like you said, it seemed like the defense would get a 3 and out. Our offense would throw an interception. Then they would run down the field. We'd run down the field, and it was just 46-39. An FIU team that, I mean, I talked to the beat writer earlier. We knew they were a much improved team. But I mean, going from a 52-7, whatever it was last year, to losing by a touchdown. I mean, it's hard to believe that these two teams there was that big a gap that was covered just a short 8 months. I mean, North Texas lost guys, but I mean, I didn't think, I don't know. Like I said, I think that kind of a loss for words. Like I said, I was kind of nervous that North Texas was covered, but I really never thought that we wouldn't win, I guess, is where I'm at right now.
Yeah, I mean, it was really frustrating. Like, there were times we would have, it's kind of saw this last week too, there would be times where guys would be in positions and, just simply miss the tackle or overrun the play, take a bad angle. And I mean, just got a lot of work they need to do before we, luckily, next week we do have another out of conference opponent, Louisiana Tech, but, if things don't improve, that could be a challenge as well. Because, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't Louisiana Tech beat FIU a few weeks ago? So
yeah, I mean, that's the downside to all this. I mean, Maine played FIU closer than we did, and then La Tech beats them. I mean, looking at the schedule the first of the year, we had it penciled in. Cal was going to be a tough game. I didn't think it was going to be the beating it was, but then pretty much across the board, I mean, everybody had FIU, La Tech, ACU. I mean, 3-1 was kind of how we figured we'd start conference play, and now you're looking at 2-2 if we're lucky. That's I think, looking forward, that's the part, is it doesn't get any easier. I mean, this was kind of the must-win game, I guess, if looking at the schedule, I felt like.
Yeah, no, I agree. It was definitely one that I had circled as a W, just, looking at the schedule before the season started, and now I don't know what to think. I mean, there's a lot of work they need to do. I mean, I know that we knew there were going to be some challenges, like when they did switch to 3-3-5, because, they were more of a 4-2-5 last year under Phil. And then, I mean, the offense is still very explosive. It's just they need to clean some things up and, get a little more consistent. I do think we ran the ball better this game than we did last. I think at one point Stone was our leading rusher, and I mean, Rodgers had some wheels on him too. It was nice to see, because whenever we signed Rodgers from the portal, I remember that was one of the things we said on the board, that we saw some plays where he was running, tearing some of the Sunbelt teams apart with his legs. So I mean, it wasn't a big scrambler overall, but it was nice to see that that athleticism from Rodgers as well. But I mean, he made some really good throws as well. So, I mean, it's going to be interesting to see how that quarterback competition goes forward.
Yeah, and I mean, looking at the stats, I mean, looking at it, you would have thought North Texas probably would have won this game. What they led in first downs. They led in total yards. They led in time of possession. They had less turnovers. I mean, less penalties. I mean, there's not one phase of the game that FIU was better. I mean, 250 yards on the ground for North Texas, 297 yards to the air. Yeah, I mean, it was just, killing turnovers or yeah, I mean, like I said, I really, watching the game, I kept thinking, at any point we're about to blow it. I mean, like we're about to turn around. I mean, it was,
Yep.
We go up 10-7, then it's tied, 17-17, and I felt like at any point we're about to get a turnover, and then you're going to look back, and this is going to be a 38-21 ball game, and that's the score I predicted. That's what I thought, but it was just like we never put them away. We kept giving extra chances, and Stone Earl was the leading rusher with 67 yards. Chandler Rogers comes in 11 for 15, 200 yards, 2 touchdowns, and like I said, going back to the quarterback talk, I mean, I think that I think that it's going to be interesting to see Tuesday when the depth chart comes out. Did Rogers just play himself right back into a starting role, or at least is there going to be an R on the depth chart, or how they handle this moving forward is going to be super interesting to see.
Yeah, for sure. I agree. I'm not a coach, obviously, even though I do have the same last name as our head coach. He might be my West Texas cousin, but needless to say, I personally think, Rogers should probably, maybe they should just roll him out, see how he does from the start, just change things up a little bit, to see what he can do, if he can keep the chains moving. I mean, there's just things they need to clean up, honestly. Like, I know the 3-3-5 is going to take some time to adapt, and, it might be one of those things where, maybe we got to hit the portal hard at the end of this year. I don't know. Some of these high school guys that we just signed in this class, maybe they're going to get playing time a little earlier than we thought. I mean, I'm not the coach. I don't have the film, but just, fan observations.
No, and I mean, that's where I'm at I mean, we lost stuff. I'm not going to lie. I mean, Katie Davis, Jair Shorter, Nixon. I mean, there's a list of guys we lost, but, we brought in some portal guys as well. I didn't think it was ever going to be a complete rehaul, but to where it's at now, it's I don't know how we, like I said, we went so far back that, I don't know. I mean, I usually have green goggles on. I mean, I think everybody kind of knows that. I try to be optimistic as much as possible, but I never would have thought that we'd be sitting here talking about a loss to FIU. I mean, I didn't think that we took that many steps back, I guess, is what it boils down to.
Yeah, I mean, I was here during the Dodge years, and I hate to say it, but, man, I was having flashbacks for some of those Dodge games where, we had no problems moving the ball, but couldn't get a stop and just sloppy. And then that play at the end, that punt, what were we doing? The guy just, I don't even know, like the ball was just rolling I don't know if they like had a brain fart or what. It's like, you got to get on the ball and stop the clock, because it's like they were just letting it field, like let the ball roll. Like they were just, oh, okay, we'll just let it go like until it stops and rolls. Like jump on the ball. You can at least, give the offense a chance, but anyways.
Yeah. I mean, that was just part of the frustration going through, but now you got to look forward to La Tech, and like I said, I don't think that. I mean, they've got Boise State transfer. They beat FIU.
Going to be another battle of the air raid.
And I mean, at this point, I mean, Abilene Christian's not going to be a and I think last week the frustrating part was watching this team get destroyed by Cal, which I thought. I still think Cal is a much improved team, but you see Texas State beat a Baylor, and then this year you've got Rice blowing out Houston. Like, who had that on their cards, before the year? I put on Twitter earlier, like, Houston was 8-point favorites. I'm like, I don't gamble.
Easy money.
I was like, easy money. I mean, I was blown away that it was just 8 points. I felt like Houston was going to blow them out. I never would have guessed. We're sitting here talking about Rice beating a Houston team. So, I mean, college football is college football, but I don't know where Eric and them go from here. I mean, I think I mean, I know everybody has their disappointments with the 3-5 defense. I know that there's a lot of teams in the nation that's had great success. I don't know if it's we don't have the right guys. We're trying to fit squares and circles. I mean, I don't know, or round pegs, whatever the saying is. I don't, like I said, I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't know if you go back and let's just ride out the year and get to the off season and then kind of go from there. But yeah, I mean, to me, it's I'm kind of a loss for words because I mean, I figured we were going to take a step back this year. I mean, it's completely new staff. They're switching offense, defense, and I didn't feel like they brought in a ton of guys from the portal. I mean, they brought in several, but it wasn't like a Texas State complete rehaul. But I really, because there's a ton of guys still on this team. I mean, Mason Richards, Jamari Macklin, Oscar Attaway, Ragsdale. I mean, pretty much the whole offensive line's back. I mean, there's so many key pieces to a team that played last year for a conference championship, destroyed FIU. Yeah, they didn't beat UTSA, lost to Memphis, but for the most part, most of those games, they had a chance to win most of them. Yeah.
Yep.
And I think that's, like I said, I think that's the most discouraging part. As a fan, as a guy that covers the team, is just, I really was hoping after the Cal game, you got popped in the mouth, let's get those first game jitters out. And I really was hoping that tonight they would come out and get some stuff figured out. But I feel more frustrated after this loss than I did the Cal game.
Yeah, no, I agree. Because like Cal, I mean, they are in a bigger conference, and we knew they had like a top 20 transfer portal class, and I mean, even just watching, I mean, they were a lot bigger than our guys. Just seeing from like on the field level and stuff, like they had some depth. I mean, the whole talk going into the game is, oh, the heat. It's going to be triple digits. Well, we got blessed that day with cooler weather from a Texas, North Texas perspective, but. I mean, those guys they're college athletes. They're used to preparing for that, so that wasn't even that big of an issue for them. But just yeah, I'm still speechless as well. Like I really thought we knew FIU was gonna have a ton of speed and athleticism just because South Florida, there's a lot of talent in that South Florida area. Kind of similar to Texas, but it's just really frustrating that we beat them by 52-14 last year, and then this year we're, couldn't stop them. Just the turnovers and just I don't know. It was just frustrating game all the way around.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like FIU lost more in the portal than we did. I mean, I think we lost some, but.
And they had a true freshman quarterback. I know he's a freshman. I don't know if I think he was a true freshman. I think that was his second game he started. And, we should take advantage. I mean, I know it's easier said than done. I'm just a fan, but just those type of situations, like, on paper, like you have some returning guys on the defense, like we were saying. And then I'm not just trying to pick on the defense, but just, little things like that. Like we have some of the experience of like guys that have played ball and just couldn't take advantage.
Yeah. And I mean, I think the one bright spot tonight is it looks like we do have a really good kicker. I mean,
man, he nailed that one. It was like 49 yards, and we knew his kickoffs were good because he was like the PFF leader of like kickoffs. I think when he was at Baylor, but he nailed that one field goal. That was awesome.
Yeah. So I guess if we've got to find a positive, we do have a kicker. But yeah. I think that positive, you got to think. I mean, I think Eric and Coach Capone both are both young guys, and as far as, I mean, I feel like they're not going to throw their hands up. I think they're going to keep on scrambling, keep on trying to figure this thing out. But yeah, I mean, I think if things keep trending this way, I think you have to go back to the drawing board and maybe take a Texas State. And I hate to blow the thing up because I mean we were a touchdown away. Or stopping a touchdown away against UTSA last year from hosting a conference championship game, or at least having a chance to. So I mean, it's not. I feel like it wasn't broken, but.
And even in the bowl game to Boise State, they're a perennial G5, school, and well, didn't we lose to them by like a field goal? Like, you know, so it's, the cupboard wasn't bare before, Morris got here. And I'm not just like, trying to shift all the blame to him either, but it's just, like we were saying, it's a new system. It's going to take some time to adjust, but we got to do better.
100%. I mean, yeah. I mean, you look at some of the games. I mean, the Memphis game, we lose by 7, 11 points, whatever it was, and 2 pick sixes. I mean, that's a game that could have won last year, and I just really felt like this team wasn't that far off. I don't know if Coach Morris and them. I mean, I don't want to say they took the job and seen like, hey, this team just played for a conference championship. This is ready to go win. And I mean, I said that on the Monday podcast was, like a Texas State was a horrible situation. So it was easy for Coach Keeney to come in and say like, let's blow the thing up. Like we're starting from square one. I don't know if since North Texas was so close, it was more of a, let's just fill some spots. Whereas
tweak a little things here and there
instead of, I mean, I guess realizing like, maybe we're a couple things off from the old system, but like I said, I mean, we've got an offensive line that was one of the best offensive lines in the country last year, but it was mainly a running team, and now we're expecting them to be pass blockers. The defense, like you said, 4-man front, Phil Bennett. I mean, Mason Richards, who was an all-conference guy last year, has been kind of non-existent, putting his hand on the ground in the 3-man defense. I mean, a lot of question marks, a lot of things that I was kind of hoping we'd get some clarity, some guys would figure some stuff out. And like we talked about earlier, I don't think that we're any closer to, I feel worse about the team after the FIU game than I did after the Cal game, as far as the team as a whole.
Agreed. I hope they have a good week of practice. I'm sure I wouldn't want to be in that film room come probably tomorrow. No, I'm sure they'll probably watch film as soon as they get back tomorrow. And I wouldn't want to be in the film room with some of the coaches. I'm sure there's going to be several corrections that are made. Hopefully, they make some good improvements and adjustments this week. And, trying to be a glass full, half full guy here right now. Hopefully, make things improve this week, and we can go to La Tech and, get on the other side and get a win. And when Abilene Christian comes here, do the same thing. And then once we start conference play, we're a 500 team.
Do you think there's a possibility, and you cover the team just as close as anybody, you do a great job on the board. I mean, after what you saw tonight, I mean, you think there's a chance this is a one-win team?
It's possible. I mean, it's just a lot of it's going to depend. I will say this, our schedule was front-loaded with, the more winnable games. And, just based on historical records, we had FIU today, Louisiana Tech, Abilene Christian, and then I believe it was Navy and Temple. I mean, all of those, were games I had marked as, winnable games. I had us at, 5-1 going into, the second half of the season. But I mean, it's possible if we come out with the effort we had, today. I mean, it's going to be a long season.
Yeah.
But they just, the coaches are, that's what they get paid to do, is make corrections and adjust things. And, we have the athletes to, run the offense. And, I know it's a new system and it's going to take some time with a 3-3-5, but, they just need to execute better as well, make some tackles, and they need to do a better job too getting to the quarterback. Because, that's one thing that was really frustrating too, seeing is like, we'd see plays with our linebackers would crash down and then they weren't getting any pressure on the quarterback. So, he's able to get out and just hit his guy wide open, or, the secondary would be slow to adjust and, not make a tackle where they're supposed to, and, get a big play right away. So there's just some things they need to clean up, but I'm not feeling good right now. I'll say that.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, I told you, I don't know if I said it before we went live or after. I mean, I was nervous about them covering. The line kept moving, which was kind of making me, I mean, the lower it got, I was like, I think the last line I seen, we were 10-point favorites. I'm like, okay, we should be able to cover that. I mean, I'm not going to be.
Yep.
I never really, like I said, I never thought that there would be a chance that we didn't pull it out. But how? I mean, I don't know. At this point, you're just like, I mean, if you go one win, are you not talking about coaching changes, but do you make a change on defense? Do you make it? I mean, like, I don't really know where because we haven't really. I mean, with Seth, we it came in and took over a one-win team and got us to a bowl, backed into a bowl game year one, and then it was pretty much 9-win season, and then the shit hit the fan, I guess you could say.
Mm-hmm.
We never. I mean, I don't remember anybody calling for anybody's job year one. I mean, we were just so excited. Whereas Morris, I feel like, is already Coach Baker, who was a coach at UNT when I was there, a teacher. And he always just told us, like, if you're going to go take a coaching job, take somewhere where they haven't won. I mean, North Texas hadn't won a lot, but he is. I mean, Morris did take over for a coach that played in the conference championship. Sonoy's jumped on real fast. We'll bring him in and see what his instant reactions are. What's up, Sonoy?
What's up? Are we on?
We're live, so please don't get us banned.
Okay, noted. I probably have to jump off soon. My youngest one is already acting up, so I don't know how long I can jump on. But I've been listening in and out. I hope I don't echo too much of what you guys have already said. But I don't know. The easiest part of this schedule was the front of it, and it's only going to get harder. And if FIU just rushed like that against North Texas, what is Navy going to do? What is UTSA going to do? What is Memphis going to do? SMU and everybody else. So it's pretty concerning. I know there's probably some positives with Rogers looking, good when he came in, but still against FIU. And I don't know. I mean, what are your? I mean, do you think there's 3 wins or 4? I mean, how many wins do you think this team gets?
I mean, we talked about it beforehand. I mean, I thought this was the easiest game. I was more nervous about La Tech, honestly, than this game. I didn't think we were going to cover, but La Tech beat the team we just lost to. And I think they've got a better quarterback. I think they're in year 2 of the system with Sonny Cumbie. So, I mean, I think La Tech's a much better team than we played tonight for sure. So, I mean, you're looking at 0-3 heading to ACU. I mean, I asked Jared, I'll ask you this. I mean, is this going to be a one-win team?
Oh, I mean, Jared, I'm not sure what you said, but I don't think it'll be 1 win. But that's not, what does that mean? I guess it could be, but I mean, no, I don't think it will. But what does that even really equate to?
Even if number 1 pick in the draft.
Yeah, it's not like we get that, right? But, I don't know. I mean, really, I know I've been saying his name a lot, but Coach Capone, I'm curious to see what he does because, again, that's FIU. I don't have the stats up, but how many whatever they rush for, however many yards they produce. I mean, that was FIU. So without some like personnel or packages changes as far as 4-man fronts or whatever, I don't see what else is going to change. And I don't know. It's pretty concerning.
I know a lot of people. I mean, I see Jeff just putting the 3-3-5's got to go. I know everybody hates the 3-3-5. Like I said, I don't know if I said it while we were live or before me and Jared jumped on. I mean, there is teams in the country that have had success with the 3-man front defense. I would say my biggest frustration probably, with the whole deal is not who you hired as defensive coordinator, is not the system. It's that, I mean, if you look at the recruits we brought in transfer guys on the offensive side of the ball. We brought in linemen. We brought in wide receivers, positions that I had pretty high up on if you ranked, the position groups. But when you think about it, I mean, I mentioned on the podcast Monday, we've got more, walk on than actual Capone guys. So I feel like that is my biggest frustration is like, if you're going to change defenses, if you don't have the personnel to run this defense, like we brought in some stud high school defensive backs. I mean, there's 5 of them there that all look like they're going to be players in the future. But I would say that's my biggest frustration is I would have wished instead of, using the transfers we did on offense that we would have spent 5 to 6 scholarships on defensive guys. Get guys that, I mean, at least bring in some Iowa State guys that have ran the defense before just to have some kind of camaraderie. I mean, the one guy I think that I can think of that's a Capone guy that we brought in is Phil Hill, and he had an interception tonight, had a couple big tackles. I mean, Phil Hill looks like he's going to be a player, but I think you're still 5 or 6 guys short on the defensive side of the ball. At least I think there's guys, Ethan Lozlowski, Brown, there's guys in that defense that I think are players. I think Mason Richards is a beast. I just think that I don't know if they've got him in the wrong spot, or I don't know how you go from all conference to non-existent through 2 games. I think that's something's got to be done. Some guys have got to be shifted at least at this point. Because you can't – there's no free agency. There's no going hitting the portal at this point. You can't make a trade. We can't trade, one of our 27 wide receivers for a defensive tackle or a defensive end. Like, got to be some moving, some shaking, got to be something to try to get this defense at least patched up until you can get to portal season, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and another thing too, like I don't know why I thought of this on the fly. Like, we brought in a couple of the JUCO guys as well. Like there was that one defensive lineman from I think he was from Philly. I can't remember. Like I remember we brought him in, and then we brought the some of the JUCO linebacker from I think he was from Keller. I think you had him on the podcast, JD, and then just some of these guys like that. Like I'm interested to see in the next few weeks if they're going to get to play, or I know it takes they're newer to us because a lot of them got here in the summer, but just some of these names we saw that transferred here or were signed late, I haven't had a chance look at the participation, or I just don't remember seeing their names come up during the game, I should say. But I'm interested to see how some of these guys that we brought in late, if they're going to maybe step up as well on the defense, just because we did sign these guys late, there had to been a reason for that. So, well, I'm sure it's because we had some late guys that jumped in the portal, but you know what I'm saying.
No. And I think Sonoy's about to have to get off.
Yeah, I'm going to have to hop on. Thanks for having me on, JD. Jared, it was nice talking with you as well. I'll be listening for the rest of it, but hopefully things get turned around.
I've got a Sonic burger over here that's smelling pretty good, so we may be jumping off here pretty quickly as well. I'm going to jump off here and at least enjoy that, so maybe I can salvage part of the night.
Have something go right, huh?
Yeah.
That's made you snort.
Yeah. But, at this point, I want to play the younger guys. I want to figure out what we got, and then, like I said, make it to the off season with whatever dignity and stuff we got left, and, try to –
and hold on to the class we currently have committed.
Yeah, because that's one of the parts is we do have some super talented high school kids. I've covered recruiting now for 10 years for North Texas, and some of the recruits we've got are some of the best kids. I've seen us as far as offer list, rankings, however you want to do it. They check a lot of boxes. So yeah, I think that we want to hang on to those guys however we can. And it's tough because, you see teams we're competing against, they're trending up. So it's a hard sell at this point. I think, when you're playing for conference championships, you're playing in bowl games, it's obviously an easier sell. So I think most of them's got their hands full with that. But, yeah, like I said, figure out what we got, figure out who we got, and then,
make some adjustments.
Yeah, and that's really all we can do. Let's we'll get you back on. Like I said, we'll talk. Hopefully, maybe we can do this again after La Tech. Maybe we talk about a victory.
I sure hope so.
Pop some champagne or whatever they do when they win. It's been so long, I've kind of forgot.
Cold Coors Light.
Yeah, I already had enough of those tonight. So that's. Hopefully we can get back on, do this again. Hopefully next time we talk, it's after a victory. But any closing thoughts before we check out?
I hope I sleep good tonight. It's been a rough day.
Well, Jared, get you some sleep. And like I said, hopefully, we only got a couple more Saturdays until basketball season starts. But like I said, hopefully we can string some W's together, get some stuff figured out. Maybe it's not all for loss, but definitely got our work cut out moving forward.
Sounds great, man. I appreciate you having me on. And like I said, hopefully we'll be under better circumstances, and I don't think I've ever heard the real JD say he's looking forward to basketball in week 2.
Hey, there's a first time for everything, I guess. All right, bud, well, we'll see you next time. Go Mean Green.
Sounds good, man. Go Mean Green.